Joining us, Alaska Senator Dan Sullivan. Mr. Senator, I've got oil priced now at $22 a barrel. And there's no doubt in my mind that it's being driven down by the Saudis and the Russians who are out to break people like you, American oil producers. What can you do about that?
Yeah, Stu, well, look, every country has a role to play in this addressing the coronavirus pandemic from a health perspective, economic perspective. Saudi Arabia has a particularly important role to play as one of the largest producers in the world, but also currently the president of the G20 and a longtime ally of the United States. Right now, they are not stepping up to that role. They are actually playing a disruptive role in energy markets, and a number of us in the U.S. Senate are focused on this. We sent a letter to the Crown Prince just yesterday. I've been in touch with Secretary Mnuchin, Secretary Pompeo this morning, the Secretary of Energy. We are all delivering the same message that they need to play a much more responsible role in these global energy markets. We do not need a supply and demand shock at the same time, and that's what we're seeing.
And they're winning at this moment. They've declared war on our oil producers here. They are winning. I don't think you can make a profit anywhere in Alaska with the price of oil at $22 a barrel.
Well, look, a bunch of us are meeting with the ambassador this afternoon, a bunch of U.S. senators, and we are going to send the message that this strong relationship that we've had for decades, it can't be taken for granted. Now is the time for the Saudis to step up, show global leadership and support, not just for the United States, but for a global economy that's seen some rough days. They need to play that leadership role.
What leverage do you have on the Saudis?
Oh, I think there's a lot of leverage that we have on the Saudis.
Like what?
Like I said, we've been a long-standing ally and supporter of Saudi Arabia. I think with regard to security issues, we have always been there for the Saudis. And I think what they're going to see, what they're seeing right now is a number of us, U.S. senators who have strongly been supporters of them, are starting to rethink that support if this is the way they're reacting when we need responsible leadership from the Saudis. That, let's face it, as you mentioned, Stu, these actions are actually not just hurting the global economy, they're hurting American citizens. They're hurting my citizens. And this is where it gets, to be perfectly blunt, rather personal. And the ambassador is going to hear that in a respectful tone today from a number of U.S. senators. And I know for a fact that they're hearing it across the Trump administration from cabinet officials that I've spoken to just in the last 24 hours.
Okay, play hardball, Mr. Senator. I think most Americans would support you. The last thing we want to lose is America's energy dominance and America's energy independence. It's worth its weight in gold.
We won't, and we're focused very much on that.
Mr. Senator, thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you,
Very important. Appreciate it.